Oh, hi there. I didn't see you come in. What's happening to me? Alright, we've assumed our new forms.
Yes. Yes.
Now, Jenny.
Yes, hello.
As I'm sure you'll agree, we are 30.
I am 30. I am aware of that.
Well, then what does that make me?
You are 31. You are 31 years old.
What's 9 plus 10 plus 10?
29.
31?
Not 31.
Jenny.
Yes?
As you know, we're 30. What this means is that we are chopped. We are washed, as my brother Nov was quick to point out. We are chuggy, but most pressingly of all, we are unk.
We are unk.
But all hope is not lost, okay? Jenny, that's you.
That's me.
No, it's not you, Jenny. That is the character Pommy from the Amazing Digital Circus, which I'm sure you've heard of. And so what's happening in this scene is that Pommy's falling into the abstract, which is a space underneath the circus, and a character goes there when they no-clip, which means they fall through the floor of the world. And I know you're a big cinephile, among other things, and I'm sure, being 30, that you probably thought no-clipping was invented by Kane Pixels, the director of the Backrooms. He's 20. But no-clipping was actually invented 2 years before that by Gooseworks, the creator of the Amazing Digital Circus. But all hope is not lost. Because see, this is, you remember how I said you were the clown?
Yes.
This one is still you, but now look, so in the show, the clown was saved by the rabbit whose name is Jax, and he reached down and he grabbed her hand with his like 3 different looking hands. But what's happening now, get this, in an abstract sense, I'm the rabbit and you're the clown because I'm saving you from being unk.
Yes.
Because, Jenny, today, I'm going to teach you about a little something that I know you've been hearing a lot about, but maybe haven't really fully understood. Jenny, I know you've seen these characters before.
Yes. Yes, a few times.
I know you hear a lot about the characters here in your kind of day-to-day life.
Yeah, more than some people would like.
Okay, Jenny, to rescue from the throes of geriatric inadequacy, today I'm going to teach you about the game these characters are from so that you can cling to your youth for just perhaps a scant few years longer, okay? Jenny, this is Dandy Worlds. Okay, so the name, I believe, is derived from the French dans des world, which means in this world, which could refer to any number of events which take place within the game, as you'll come to learn. What you're looking at here is a thing called Roblox.
Yes.
Roblox is a gaming platform, much like Steam. Unlike Steam, I don't think there are any paid, they're called experiences on Roblox. They're not games, they're Roblox experiences. And anyone can play them as long as you're above the age of 13. And Roblox also includes built-in developers tools. I learned a lot about Roblox within the past week of research. So a lot, not all, but a lot of Roblox games take place in a setting called Robloxia. And it's not that all Roblox games take place within the same setting. It's not like a big shared world. It's that in much the same way most Marvel comics and most DC comics and Dragon Ball Z, any number of things like that, all take place on the planet Earth. But they're not all the same Earth. It's not one big shared Earth.
Yeah.
Roblox is kind of the same, where a lot of these, not games, experiences take place within Robloxia, but it's different versions of Robloxia. It's just that that's the name of the setting. Dandy's World does not take place in Robloxia. Dandy's World takes place in a setting called Garden View. Garden View, I don't really know what it is. I think Garden View is like a public park, and then within Garden View there's the Garden View Center, and I don't think those are in Robloxia. I think they're in Earth, but they might not be. I'm not sure. It's not really stated anywhere. These are just some facts I've learned. Now, Jenny, I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor. Pretend you can see my mouse cursor.
I can see your mouse cursor.
And can you see where I'm directing my mouse cursor in your mind's eye?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
There's a certain little guy who I'd like you to focus in on real close.
I don't care for him. I don't like his vibe. Oh, Christ.
This is Dandy.
Okay.
Dandy here, you may recognize this fella. He's from a game called Dandy's World. Dandy's World is... I'm about to sneeze. No, I'm not. I don't have to. Dandy's World is a Roblox multiplayer horror game released in June 14th, 2024, developed by Blush Crunch Studios. Dandy's World, I learned very recently, and shame on me for assuming, is not Dead by Daylight. It's not one guy is scary and they try to kill all the other guys. I was confused because there's a whole cast of characters and all of the characters have a normal version and a scary version. So I just figured when you're the killer, you play as the scary version. No, it's actually a lot more like Among Us. The way Dandy's World plays is you squad up with a bunch of fellow Dandy's World players, and then you and the others venture into the depths of Garden View, and you have to complete little mini games on every floor.
Okay.
And as far as I know, it's just the one mini game, and it's really boring, and it's that one over and over again for up to 100 floors. And you have to complete this minigame. You have to press the spacebar at the right moment while an evil computer-controlled toon is hunting you. And so you've got to avoid getting killed by them. In much the same way in Among Us.
Yes, I know that one.
You would have to avoid being killed by the imposter. Now, you can accuse me of many things. You can accuse me of being a tourist, but one thing I'm not is a LARPer. I actually recorded some on-site footage that I could use in this video. I've discovered I'm not very good at Dandy's World. It's simple, but it's not that easy if you've never played it before. As you can see in the top left here, you would only get paired up with people in similar age groups and trusted friends. So basically, my options for co-players were a bunch of 30-ish-year-olds who were still playing Roblox games, which is fine, but I wasn't especially tempted to turn on the voice chat functionality, which meant I died a lot. And after a certain point, it started feeling unfair to the other players that I was getting killed so much, and so I threw the towel in. Jenny.
Yes.
What am I doing talking about gameplay? Nobody gives a fuck about gameplay anymore. Newsflash, boomer. It's 2026.
I like gameplay.
No, you don't like gameplay.
Oh.
We like lore.
Ah.
No one seems to actually really know what's going on in Dandy's World. Dandy's World, as far as I know, doesn't have a plot. Dandy's World has lore. The premise of Dandy's World essentially is that there are a number of audio tapes you can find throughout the levels, and you listen to recordings, and what we've learned from the recordings is that the little cartoon characters you're seeing on the screen here, the toons, they're living things that are brought to life using ink. No, my mistake. Forget I said that. They're living things that are brought to life using Ichor, which is like kind of a thick black liquid, and you take some Ichor and you can use that to make a toon. There are also, as we know from environmental storytelling details, there are cartoons starring the toons that you play as, the toons that roam around the Garden View Center, which has led to two theories. Theory number one is that the toons that you play as are actors. Honestly, to call them actors is slightly misleading. It's believed that the toons are in kind of a Truman Show situation. They seem to believe all the events of all the cartoons starring them actually happened, which would mean that they were just being filmed candid camera, reality TV style, and then the things that were filmed, you know, the events that transpired were put to tape and broadcast to mass appeal, which leads to my second theory. The toons that you play as, the toons roaming around the Garden View Center, are not actors, they are imitations. They've been created based on the designs of the characters in the old cartoons, and they've had false memories planted in their heads. They've been led to believe that the things that happen in the cartoons actually happen to them, and that they really are the characters from the cartoons when they're more like walking, talking copies.
Yes.
And I'm sure you're thinking, Jenny, this is all very interesting.
It sounds a bit like, I don't know, Final Fantasy X. I don't know, it could be something.
Final Fantasy X, interesting that you would bring that up, because as a matter of fact, everything I've just described takes place almost exactly in Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Yes, I didn't know anything about Bendy and the Ink Machine. I did a little research, as I said. I watched a few videos, I played some games, I took a trip to the wiki, as any good LARPer does, but also, to prepare myself for this presentation, I also watched all of the game theory videos about Dandy's World.
Oh my god, how many are there?
4.
And how long are they?
Like 15 minutes.
Nevertheless
Is right. So one of the things I learned about Bendy and the Ink Machine is that there's just like a hot guy covered in ink who wears a Bendy mask, and you might think that's like a late chapter installment, like they were really running out of ideas when they came up with this guy. But no, this guy is just in all of the chapters, starting from chapter 1.
Yeah, I've never seen him before. I've seen people talk about this game. I've never seen
just the hot
this guy. Yeah,
painted black guy. Bendy seems cool, but part of what I know about Bendy's is that everything that people think happens in Dandy's World already happened in Bendy and the Ink Machine. Jenny, this is the eponymous ink machine. And so in Bendy and the Ink Machine, they fill this machine with ink and it churns out 3-dimensional living copies of cartoon characters that appeared in the old Bendy cartoons. And I know you're thinking this sounds very familiar, but one correction I have to issue is that the ink machine is fueled by ink, which is a thick black liquid,
yes,
which must not under any circumstances be mistaken for Ichor, which is a completely separate thick black liquid which is used to make tunes.
Of course.
Ichor is very important because Ichor is
I'm not sure that this image is from the Dandy's World game.
I think it's a promotional image.
It's a promotional image, yeah.
I'm pretty sure. So Ichor appears to play some role in the creation of feral tunes.
Yes.
That's as much as I can tell you. We don't know anything about why tunes go feral. We just know that it involves Ichor somehow, and they're made of Ichor, so it's possible that the Ichor that they're made of becomes unstable somehow, which could be happening because they're placed into a heightened emotional state. The tunes have been abandoned in Garden View. There are no human interactable characters within the game. It's possible that, much like in a certain Amazing Digital Circus, which came out at around the same time, so we can't really blame the unoriginality on that. Maybe. Yeah, either their genes are going unstable or they're getting upset, or maybe exposure to Ichor that's just kind of around the facility is causing them to overdose on it or something, and that's making them crazy or it's making them evil. All we know, based on what we've been told, is that tunes are overcome by Ichor, and we don't know how.
Yes.
Who's ready for some more lore?
I suppose.
You have to say me, I am.
I love lore. I love lore.
Look at these guys. Those are handlers.
Handlers?
Yeah, so handlers are human people, human Roblox people. They're Roblox guys. They're, oh my god.
This seems interesting.
So these guys, these two characters, I forgot to write their names down, but they created the Dandy's World guys.
Okay.
And all the information we have about them comes from snippets and nuggets of tasty lore, most specifically from the characterization of 2 main tunes. Number 1 of whom is this guy right here, Dandicus Dandifer.
Yes.
Dandy works with the humans somehow. He's in some way affiliated with the human handlers of the tunes, or he was before they were abandoned. As the main character, he was put in kind of a community leader role. He was in charge of corralling the tunes and keeping them well behaved and stuff like that. And there's something sinister to it, because we know there's something he doesn't want us to know about that. We don't know what yet. And the reason we know that is because of the in-game currency tapes. And this is actually a little bit of gameplay and story integration I kind of really like. So Dandy, you may not know this, Dandy is a non-playable character in Dandy's World.
I did not know that.
I was fucking disappointed because I love that guy. I like Dandy so much more than any of the other characters. I think his design is fantastic.
I just don't understand you sometimes. I just don't.
But you can't play as Dandy. Yes. Dandy is the in-game shopkeeper. He's the Tom Nook.
Huh.
And yeah, so you do a floor and you solve a lot of very difficult puzzles, and you escape some nail-biting encounters, and in the in-between zone between floors, like a roguelike, Dandy's there and he wants to sell you stuff, and he wants to buy it from you for the tapes that you've collected. And if you don't give him the tapes, he gets upset. And if you go enough floors without spending tapes, that's when he turns into feral dandy and he attacks you.
Okay.
And I actually think, if it's intentional, this is actually some really well executed open-ended storytelling, because he gets steadily more upset and he starts saying stuff like, they're my tapes, you gotta give them to me, they're mine. And it's possible that that's because the tapes are just the old Dandy's World cartoons and he likes watching them because they calm him down. And if you don't give him the tapes, it's like a drug addict not getting their fix.
Yes.
And eventually he flips out on you. Or it could be because there's something on the tapes that he doesn't want you to know, right? It's not that he wants to have the tapes, it's that he wants you not to.
Yeah.
And so the longer you go without, and he's trying to present it like an equal parts transaction. Hey, you give me the tapes, you make it worth my while, I'll give you something good in return. When in actuality, the transaction is not important. What's important to him is getting the tapes off of you.
Yes.
And the fact that that hasn't been revealed, it could just be lazy writing and it hasn't been elaborated on or clarified because they haven't gotten around to it. But to me, it reads like fairly well executed, intentional, open-ended storytelling.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the writing's not particularly articulately handled, but just in the interest of giving the benefit of the doubt, we find ourselves in kind of a Roland Barthes-esque situation where it's not so much what you take out of the game, it's what you put into it sometimes. That's where the intriguing nuggets of lore
I'm not sure that's what Roland Barthes was getting at with Death of the Author.
I think he was. I hear he played a lot of Dandy's World.
Maybe he did. I mean, he was French. Those guys like stuff that I don't so much care for myself.
So moving on, there's a second character I got to talk to you about, Jenny.
Yes?
This guy's name is Dial.
Man, this guy sucks.
No, he's cool.
That's
And
all
he's
they all
actually...
suck.
Shut the fuck up. He's actually really important. As mentioned, the game was released on June 14th, 2024. Dial was released in an update on August 8th, 2025. So that's a fucking while later. And this update is probably the most important one there's ever been in terms of the rammies, bro. The ramifications to the lore.
The lore.
So Dial, yeah, it's hot, my mouth is dry. Now Dial is unique among the toons. Dial is the second non-playable toon introduced, and he is unique among all the toons in that he is not a performer. He is not a character in any of the old Dandy's World cartoons. He was introduced as a kind of intermediary. He's a fellow toon handler on the inside. He's a toon that is a toon handler.
Yeah.
And so he has this kind of aloof relationship with all the other toons, except for Dandy, who's the only one he describes as a friend. But Dial has dialogue which supports actor theory, because Dial is on record asking the human handlers, when will I get to participate in the performances with my fellow toons? And they told him, Dial, you don't do that. You're not that kind of guy. So Dial clearly is under the impression that not only that the old cartoons were real things that took place, that they're currently taking place, you know, that they're still filming these things, which is really interesting because the dates don't support that. The game takes place in the, you know, and all the cartoons are dated from the 80s to the early 2000s. And there's one other toon who I fucking gotta tell you a little something about. This is Brusha or something. I don't remember her name. She seems not so important. She's just kind of another one of the toons. But she was introduced in the same update as Dial, and she has a piece of dialogue that, contrary to the shit Dial was saying that I was telling you about, actually supports duplicate theory or imitation theory or fucking whatever. Check this out, Jenny.
Okay.
So Brusha says, you only care because the show said you had to, which is fucking so interesting because that makes it seem as though the toons, they've had these memories planted in their heads. Their personalities are being based on the cartoons, and Brusha is the only one who's aware of that. Even up to and including Dial, who isn't in the cartoons, they still planted the idea in his head that the cartoons were real performances being put on by the toons. Can you believe that?
I don't know if I believe in anything anymore. I just don't know.
Hey, Jenny.
Yes?
Hey, Jenny, take a look at this.
Yeah.
Clair de
Okay.
Lune is the third movement of Debussy's Suite Bergamasque,
Yes.
based on a 1969 poem by French poet Paul Verlaine.
Paul Verlaine.
That's right. This song shows up a bunch in Dandy's world, and I initially thought nothing of it. I just thought they wanted a kind of spooky sounding, analog horror-y classical song, and possibly even that the reason they picked Clair de Lune is because that song is really important in Danganronpa 3.
Oh my god.
However, I've been watching a ton of game theory, dude. MatPat sounds way different nowadays, but he, or whoever, pointed out that Clair de Lune may actually have more significance than just being a song that's scary. Take a look at these lyrics right here.
Your soul is a chosen landscape on which masks and bergamasques cast enchantment as they go, playing the lute and dancing and all but sad beneath their fantastical facades.
See, so
Singing all the while.
let me cut you off right there.
Okay.
So, clearly, furthermore, and thus, what we can conclude is that that's kind of like Dandy's world, right? Like, it's like they're playing pretend and pretending to be happy, and like that's the cartoons, and they're acting all happy and they're pretending everything is good, but then in real life, really, they're sad.
I suppose.
You see the rich,
One could make the case.
the rich textual meaning. A lot of people don't realize this, but Dandy's world has a lot going on. Let's talk about the controversy.
I'm interested in this emoticon. Please proceed.
So, we've spoken about this before, and one of the things that I actually kind of love about Roblox from an outsider's perspective is that, like Friday Night Funkin', it provides young people with a platform to create things and share the things that they create.
That's nice.
In a way that they wouldn't have been able to prior to the existence of these things. It's this creative platform that allows them to collaborate and broadcast their vision and stuff and hone their craft as artists.
Yeah.
And Dandy's World, it was primarily developed by like a two-person unit. Both of whom were very young. I mean, Quelver, the lead developer, only turned 20 this year.
What the fuck?
And it's undeniably, on some level, impressive that they were capable of putting together something with so much influence and honestly such great artistic direction when so young, so little experience on both their parts. However, much like the terrorist group ISIL, you do not, under any circumstances, have to hand it to them. It's Diddy stuff.
Oh.
It's frankly kind of impressive they managed to squeeze in some Diddy stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but I didn't want to say it. But yes.
So Quelver's co-developer Rox Serpent was 17 years old, talking sexual stuff to a 13-year-old, which is too much.
Yeah, that's no good.
That's no good. That's too much, man. Shouldn't have done that. And there's a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to go into it. The crux of it is that dude was too old to be talking to somebody that young about that kind of thing.
Yes.
But this all came to light a couple of years ago. And the reason it's kind of in the news now is because of the way that the current developer Quelver responded to it. As in, when all this stuff came out, not just the one thing, but all this other stuff, like all this other stuff all at once, they were getting flooded with all this information. And in a situation like that, you have to respond immediately and you have to respond perfectly.
Yes.
Or especially with an audience as young as hers was, it will kind of permanently mar your reputation.
Yes.
And we're on a show called Explain Like I'm 30, and coming from a 30-year-old perspective, I have a degree of sympathy for somebody who's this young, who's suddenly, with no prior experience, been thrust into this position of having a community, some of whom are much younger, who they've got to be responsible for all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And having never been placed in a situation like this before. Yeah, you never want to believe that your buddy is capable of this type of thing.
True.
And eventually, with time, you come to learn that people aren't necessarily the people they present themselves as.
Yes.
And you shouldn't always have on good faith that those around you will act the way you would hope they would or expect they would. I guess I'm not going to tell people how to feel. I want to say I think it's an incredibly difficult situation to be put in, and with time you come to learn how to deal with those things. And I don't think a very, very young woman's inability to deal with this perfectly on the first go is necessarily reflective of some darkness deep within her soul or whatever.
Yeah, we can't know.
I don't really know how to end this video. I'm shut my window. Hey, it's Alistair. This was fun. If you, like me, suffer from the condition of being incredibly thirsty, and there's anything you keep hearing about that you'd like to know what the deal is with, leave a comment down below. I might do another one of these. Much love. Bye.